Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So trackies, I want to give you a roundup of the first round of the NCAA East qualifiers. So right now we're just gonna talk about who was qualified to what will be the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals come up for the men tomorrow, which is Friday, and for the women on Saturday. So I'm gonna be going through from a Jamaican perspective who has made it through to that quarterfinals round. Now I'm gonna start with the women's 100 meters because I have a lot of concern there as well. So yeah, let's just kick things off right there. So in that 100 meters, clearly we have Brianna Liston lining up, and I did also point out that we have Shanice Walker as well to make it through to the next round. They both did. They both qualified to the next round. Brianna Liston took her heat and she ran at 11.03 seconds. She was in heat 6 and she won that. And Shanice Walker came up in heat 1 and she was second in that heat and she ran at 11.25 seconds, just shy of her personal best. So she ran at 11.25 seconds to qualify. Now, I did point out a few athletes that, you'd have to look out for in terms of who would possibly make it through or the ones that would pose the most challenge, I would say, to Brianna Liston, and they also qualified pretty easy out of their, heats. We had Kayla Jackson qualifying with the fastest time in the round, and she ran a 10.95 seconds to take her heat. That was heat 5. Mackenzie Long came up in heat 4 and she ran at 11.02 seconds to qualify. Thelma Davis came up in heat 3 and she took that heat and she ran at 11.12 seconds. So pretty much all of the athletes that I pointed out for in that 100 meters, the key athletes that would make it through this particular first run of qualifying did make it through. Now I took a look at Brianna Liston in her race, and I have to say, well, she did still have the strap on her leg, and that's what we're looking out for to see how healthy she looked. But even with the strap on, I have to say she looked much better than she did when she was running at the SEC championship. So that's a good sign, right? She still has the shoppings, yes, but she was clearly pushing out of the blocks, got a fantastic start, and just executed through the line pretty much. No fuss, minimal fuss in my opinion, to run that 11.03 seconds. So I'm actually happy, seeing her looking much better than she did a couple weeks ago. Still a bit sad because I still see, the strappings, but hey, what can we do about that? You know what I mean? If the girls gotta run, then the girls gotta run, you know what I mean? So she did what she did enough. Well, she pretty much dominated the field, but still she did enough to win, and that was what was important. She finished the race, looked healthy enough, and that's as I said, a positive sign. Now looking into the finals or the quarterfinals that will come up on Saturday, I was taking a look at the amount of people that qualify to Eugene, where the NCAA Outdoor Championships will be held, and they take top 3 from each heat. So the 24 athletes that qualified here will be segmented into 3 heats, and then they'll take the top 3 from those heats and then the next 6 fastest times. So in my opinion, I'm like, okay, depending on whichever heat Brianna Liston is in, she may be the highest ranked athlete that goes into her heat, right? She can just finish in top 3, you know what I mean? And actually, I'm probably thinking that she probably won't meet a Kayla Jackson or a Mackenzie Long, which in my opinion are the biggest threats in this particular field. I don't think they'll probably be in the same heat. So that said, I think she can qualify with minimal fuss, just being top 3, and she'll make it. I, get the vibe that she'll probably run to win still, you know what I mean? But I think based on the field or based on what I've seen so far from the athletes, I think even if she runs to win, that will still not probably overexert her, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much what we want, because we want her, to be good, right? Because she still has the 200 meters to go clearly. So let's see what happens from here on out. But yeah, good qualifying for her, and I'm happy to see what will happen as we go forward. As I said, Shanice Walker qualified from a Jamaican perspective. Let's see what happens for her once she gets into those final 3 heats, right? Moving on from then, I want to touch on some of the male qualifiers that happened yesterday. So we had the men's long jump, and Jordan Turner qualified, and they take 12 to Eugene, and he's qualified to Eugene, right? So this this is straight now through to Eugene. No more qualifying, for this particular field event. And he jumped a 7.74 meters. Then we go over to the men's shot put. We had Courtney Lawrence here. And again, this is another straight shot through to Eugene. And he threw a 19.61 meters to qualify to Eugene. I'm going to go straight on over from there to the men's 110-meter hurdles. Still have another round to go, but Jaheim Stern qualified as the fastest athlete, running a 13.38 seconds, though this was in a positive 2.5 meters per second wind, so it doesn't count as a personal best. Now, also, moving on from the men's hurdles, just want to touch on the men's 100 meters, where we did have in this lineup Jelani Garden. He made it through to the next round. It seems as though it's probably going to be a bit tough for him. He, placed 19th overall based on times, and he ran a 10.41 seconds to qualify, even though he did finish second in his heat, right? So, based on though the times that are being run though, based on when he gets to that finals, it may be a bit tough for him, but let's see if he'll be able to make it through to Eugene. All right, moving on from the men's 100, we're going to touch on the men's 4, where we had Javon Blake and Raheem Hales both make it through. So Javon Powell, and again, this is to the quarterfinals, so they have another round to go before Eugene. So Javon Powell qualifies to that quarterfinals, and he runs 45.85 seconds to win his heat. Then we have Raheem Hill, sorry, and he ran a 45.99, and he also won his heat as well. So let's see what happens when they get, separated into those next 3 heats, if these athletes will be able to make it through to Eugene. I did talk about the SEC championships, and I was surprised that Javon Powell didn't even make it to the finals there. So I'm hoping that he'll be able to make it through to the NCAA finals as well. Because again, this is one of the athletes that I'm looking out for Jamaica when it comes to the 400 meters. Now, moving on over to the men's 800 meters and the qualifying there. Tyrese Roden qualified. Now he took his heat. He ran a 1 minute 47.89 seconds. Again, he has another round going to the quarterfinals, then to see who makes it through to Eugene. Wish him all the best there. He's been having a phenomenal season. And yeah, I think he'll definitely be able to make it to Eugene as well. So yeah, let's see what happens on Friday. Now moving on over to the men's 400-meter hurdles. Now in this particular race, we had Devontae Archer, and he qualified through to the quarterfinal. So again, another round to go, right? It comes up tomorrow, and he ran a 51.13 seconds, 14th place overall. He placed in his heat third, right? So let's see what will happen. It's going to be tough for him to make it through to Eugene, but guess what? Once you're in the race, you have a shot. So I'm wishing him all the best. All right, now moving on to the final event that I want to touch in this particular video, and that's the men's 200 meters. Now, in the men's 200 meters, we had lineup here Chavoy Reed. And Chavoy Reed qualified to the next round quarterfinals, and he ran at 20.68 seconds. Now that 20.68 seconds ranks him 21st out of the 24. So you can pretty much tell that it will be an uphill task for him to, make it through to Eugene. But again, I'll reiterate the same thing. Once you are in the race, you have a shot. So I'm wishing all our Jamaicans the best to see, what will happen at the end of the day. And hopefully many of them or most of them make it through to Eugene. All right, so Trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.